Dear Mayor Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, of the current city I am currently living in, all right? You need to go, all right? You and your boss, what's his name? Pritzker. Y'all, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all think y'all are over the president. Like, y'all, yeah, there's something wrong with y'all. Something wrong with y'all, all right? But let me focus more on you, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Maybe I should show up to one of those public hearings to give them to what I don't know so I don't even know what I'm trying to, so they can hear me, a young black Chicago resident. All right, imagine that 27-year-old going to one of them city council public hearings or whatever, and then saying, Mayor Brandon Johnson, you are being very lazy and this is an act of treason to President Trump, all right? All because you disagree with him, all right? You see, this is what happens when you vote blue no matter who, all right? Mayor Brandon Johnson, these libs, these liberals, these psychological slaves, psychological slave blacks over here voting for Brandon Johnson, all because he's a black man. All because he's a black man, all right? You picked him but just because of his skin color, all right? This dude, Mayor Brandon Johnson, he wasn't even raised in Chicago, all right? Apparently, he was raised in the suburbs, all right? All right, of Illinois. And then all of a sudden, he won an election. And there you go. Obviously, Chicago has been Democrat and blue for a while. All right? For a while. When was Chicago ever Republican? Had a Republican mayor? I'm going to have to do my research and everything just to figure it out, to learn my history more about Chicago, all right? But Mayor Brandon Johnson, he doesn't know what in the world is even he doing, all right? He over here taxing us, increasing taxes and everything for us Chicagoans, importing in all these illegal immigrants just to make their city look nice, all right? Using my tax dollars as a Chicago-born citizen to these illegal immigrants and not doing jack shit with it. Like, you're not even helping your own Chicago people. Mayor Brandon Johnson, you don't have to worry about people in the city outskirts of Chicago. You don't got to worry about Aurora, Crest Hill. Is that? Yeah, that's the city. Crestwood, Evanston, Wilmette. You don't got to worry about all of them. You don't got to worry about them. West Chicago, North Chicago, Waukegan. You don't got to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Your own city, Chicago. You've only done one thing that I like. One thing. And that was reduce smoking on the trains. That's the only thing you've ever done that I actually like. But everything else, by using my tax dollars to import all these illegal immigrants to be up in homeless shelters and hotels, these 5-star hotels, Marriott hotels and everything, doing all this DEI hires and stuff like that, and all these, like, oh my gosh, because McDonald's didn't, like, okay, look, I'm seeing a whole bunch of Mexicans in McDonald's, all right? Look, like, I don't have a problem with anyone who's not white or not naturally born American working at all these fast foods in any of these places. I don't mind, okay? As a matter of fact, the immediate people I answer to when it comes, I take orders from are indeed Mexican, all right? No problem, all right? No problem. I don't mind as long as you're as long as you are a legal citizen. I don't mind. But anyways, for the illegal immigrants, this Mayor Brandon Johnson, he just constantly, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's constantly ignoring Trump trying to help you. He know that Chicago's shit, all right? He knows Chicago shit. I know. The people of Chicago, we know it is shit. Alright? If it's so shit, get the fuck out. I've done it. I've done it before. I've already done it. I've already gave that sentence of getting the fuck out of Chicago. I've already gave that sentence, so now you can't talk. Alright? But either way, Chicago is my homeborn city. Alright? This is my home city. I was born here. So I have a right to say what I need for my home city. Alright? For my city of birth. Alright? My city of birth. I have a right, and I have a right to have an opinion. Alright? Of what I want done from my city of birth. Alright? So Trump, oh my gosh, the criminal records out the roof. Brandon Johnson, apparently his ratings are at 4%. Very low. Very low. Since when has Chicago ever had a great mayor? Alright? I think at this point we need mayor term limits. I think we need mayor term limits at this point, alright? Because it makes no sense, alright? I think a lot, even the people of Chicago are starting to wonder, is Mayor Brandon Johnson worse than his predecessor? What's her name? Lori Lightfoot. She was kind of funny, though. I can't lie. But they can make memes about her by having a mask on and everything. She'll be watching you if you those who not wearing masks on a train and everything. She was kind of funny, though. Apparently, one of my immediate my immediate childhood siblings apparently met her somewhat. Somewhat met her, apparently. But yeah. But anyways, it's the same thing even with her. All these liberals voting in these DEI hires. They wanted, what's her name? Lori Lightfoot, just because she's black, allegedly. She's black, gay, and woman. I'm not entirely sure how women could be gay, but whatever. I won't talk about it. That's a whole nother story, but for another day. But talking about now, they got her because she's a DEI hire, and they did the same thing with Mayor Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson, he doesn't know what the fuck is going on in Chicago. He doesn't know what's going on. Oh, Chicago is fine. We don't need your help, Trump. And you over here making, quote unquote, executive orders. I'm going to make an executive order, ice-free zone to fight against Trump's, what's his name? Trump's whatever, all right? And then your boss ain't no better. Your boss ain't no better, Mayor Brandon Johnson. Pritzker, you ain't no better. You both are over here. You know Chicago's the main city, and no wonder why the southern counties of Illinois want to secede from Illinois, either make their own state or join Indiana, because we got assholes like Mayor Brandon Johnson who just completely ignoring, doesn't even know what the fuck he's even doing. We got people like him leading the city talking about, oh, Chicago is fine. Everything is fine. We don't need your help and everything. And then you over here oh my gosh, this is straight up literal treason. This is treason against the President of the United States. And I'm so glad Trump is doing this insurrection act. He's about to send off this insurrection act, whatever it's called. Now, one thing I gotta say about the ICE agents, let's do a positive and negative. Positive, okay? Do your job, ICE, all right? Immigration, something, I don't know. I agree. It does suck. It does suck that by default, Trump, the Republican Party, is stripping families away, all right? I do feel bad. Don't get me wrong, especially as a person who was raised in a intertwined family. I can understand. It does suck, all right? And don't get me wrong. I know someone who is an immigrant. And I voted by default. I voted for him. I voted for my homie to get deported. He told me his story, all right? Even though I do feel bad. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not going to let my feelings get the best of me, all right? So whoever his girl is, I really hope she marries him. I really hope they marry. All she have to do, just get married. You can stay in the country, all right? And if all hell breaks loose, homie, contact me. Even though he don't watch my videos, contact me. Let's get homie. Let's get married. Let me marry my homie, all right? So he can get the green card or whatever, and he can be a permanent United States citizen. All right, this is funny, and yeah, we could be. That's funny. I'm somewhat joking, but I'm just saying I can use the wokeness to my advantage. All right, use the wokeness to my advantage. But anyway, so there's that. That'd be funny. That'd be funny. Has that ever happened before? I'm pretty sure there's at least one case. But anyways, going back on topic, like I said, I do feel bad, okay? But at the same time, specifically, children who are born and raised here, in the United States, and we have the parents who are not, and the parents being taken back to their country, and the children got nowhere to go, and going back at the border or whatever, being put in cages as what the news is saying. It sucks. It sucks, all right? I really do. I do feel bad. I feel very much bad for the children because their parents made stupid decisions to come over here unannounced, breaking the United States law, and now it later came on to you. You knew you wasn't a citizen. You know there was the possibility of you getting deported, being taken back to your country. You knew that. And now your children have to suffer now. I feel bad. I generally do feel bad, all right? I generally do feel bad, all right? It really do suck. It really do suck. But like I said, the law is the law. Obey the laws of the land. That's what the Bible says, all right? Now, I'm very sure someone want to use my Christianity against me, all right? Because the Bible says obey the laws of the land. The Bible's God touch up on that topic. If the law says I must, let's say use an example. If the law says I must have a mandatory, a mandatory, basically any law that goes against God, I can't follow that law, all right? It's not a contradiction, all right? And it's not a quote-unquote exception, all right? Because you have to honor God, then man. That's just the way that's the way it works. The first half of the 10 Commandments was honoring God, all right? Was loving and respecting God, all right? The second half of the Commandments was loving and respecting your neighbors. But yeah. Anyways, going back on topic, I got on side tangent, but Mayor Brandon Johnson, you over here, like I said, you don't know what the heck you're doing, and I'm just so sick of this, all right? Voting based off color. Y'all over here having a huge meltdown when Kamala Harris lost the presidency. Oh, I'm voting for the black woman. Apparently, I don't know where her roots are. Apparently, she's part Indian, and somewhere in there she's black, all right? I think she has a black grandmother or a black mother or somebody. I don't know. If she's part black, okay, she's part black, whatever, okay? I don't care. I don't care whatever race he is, okay? The point is, yeah, Joe Biden selected her just because she's a black woman, all right? And then she just played along with it, all right? These DEI hires, all right? And y'all want to call us sexist and everything, and racist and everything, and hatred against, misogynistic or whatever, all because we refuse to vote for a black woman or whatever, or vote for a black man. But anyways, going back on topic, staying here in Chicago, all right? I have not seen any ICE agents in real life with my own eyes. I haven't seen any yet. I've seen a couple videos of them walking by on the internet, but I need to see them with my own eyes because not everything on the internet is 100% true. But I'm just saying, like, I haven't physically seen them yet, all right? I haven't physically seen them, all right? But if they're around here, they're doing their job. And here goes the negative part I don't like about the ICE, okay? How they're doing it. If you want to be all aggressive and everything, I don't think that's a right. You shouldn't do that, all right? We need to respect each other as humans, all right? Like, I don't like this whole zip tying children, handcuffs from children who are immigrants. I don't like that, all right? I don't like that. And then I don't like them wearing masks too. That's one thing about Mayor Brandon Johnson I will support. Like Why in the world you gotta cover your face? You're a public servant. You're publicly serving the United States of America, representing your boss, President Trump. All right? And you're over there covering your face, zip tying children. Where's your morality, okay? Where's your morality, all right? You don't got to do all that. And being all aggressive. You don't have to be all aggressive with people. I understand, if all hell breaks loose, you kind of got to get aggressive. The same thing with regular police, but I'm just saying, y'all don't have to be aggressive. This is on a general sense, what I have with authority in general. I don't like police. I don't like police, sheriffs. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. If you have authority and you're a public servant, and securities too, even though they have private company securities and public securities, I get that part, but it doesn't matter who it is. All right. If you want to physically manhandle me, I don't like that. All right. That's one thing about authority. I just have a problem with authority. All right. That's one problem I have with authority. Period. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I don't like being physically pushed around, all right? Even if I did, I don't know, for an example, steal from the store. I don't know. Just for an example. I steal from the store. Yes, I get it. Yes, they have every right to detain me. I still don't like you pushing me around. I know it is resisting arrest, and I shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, I just don't like that, period. We're men, all right? We don't like that shit. But yeah, going back on topic, Mayor Brandon Johnson, I don't know what the fuck you doing. This is what happened when you vote by race, sex, and all this super woke junk, all right? It make no sense. Now Chicago's going to shit. Chicago's been a shit for a while, all right? I want something better. Like I said, I have a right to say this because this is my city of birth, all right? I was born and raised in Chicago, all right? Yeah, I was. I had to check because I moved around a lot. I already told my story. Basically, childhood Chicago. Pretty much all of childhood Chicago. Starting at 14 through 18. I'm just round up. 14 through 18. No, 14 through 20. It was technically a city outskirts of Chicago, all right? And then I moved to Atlanta and then back here in Chicago, all right? That's my story pretty much. But yeah, but Mayor Brandon Johnson, I don't even know. You need to go. There is a group of there's a group on Facebook. I forgot what it's called, but Chicago Get Red or something like that. Go Red or something like that. Chicago, we need a Republican mayor. All right, we need a Republican mayor because this ain't changing. Like one thing I definitely do not like about the Republicans is they are rejecting very important infrastructure bills that help innovate the city. All right, Chicago is a great city. We need public transit. We need good for infrastructure. We need great vehicles and all that stuff, and great roads and stuff. We need that. The Democrats, they shine light on that. All right. Apparently, the CTA red line extension is being delayed because Trump's stupid ass over here rejecting it. That's a problem I have with the Republican. All right, the Republican Party. I like Trump, and by default, I follow the Republican Party, but they doing too much. So yeah, going back on topic with Trump, as far as the positive stuff, he's trying to help you, Mayor Brandon Johnson, Illinois Governor Pritzker, and I voted for your ass. I voted for your ass when I was 19. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Vote blue no matter who. I did what my childhood mother told me to do in 2019, in that midterm election. I wasn't even trying to vote that day, all right, in 2019. I was just trying to retrieve my ID because I lost it at the time, all right? So I ended up going to the voters registration so I can get a voters registration again, so I can get all what I need for IDs and all stuff like that. This is 2019, by the way. I ended up voting, and my childhood mother said, vote all Democrat, and my dumb ass did. I was 19. I was a kid. I get it, but at the same time, it just sucked. I wanted to vote Green Party, honestly. I should have voted for Green Parties if they was available. But my dumb ass voted for Governor Pritzker. I voted for him. The thing is, I wasn't politically knowledgeable at the time. I'm still learning now. I'm not perfect. I'm only 26 years. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm 20. Yeah, okay. I'm only 26 years old. I'm still learning. I don't know if I can fully trust the Republican Party. We need a new party. That's what because I'm sick of these two sides of the same coin. As someone on Facebook put, we need both the left wing and the right wing in order to fly. All right, that's the thing. The Republicans and the Democrats, they fucking each other up. All right, they ain't listening. All right, excuse my French. I'm swearing too much. But anyways, I'm gonna end it on this. Okay, on Facebook, I forgot what it's called. Chicago Flip Red. I think that's what it's called. The hashtag Chicago Flip Red. There's two black women of Chicago. They're Republicans, and my guys on top of that, they're talking about bring in martial law. And I made a good point. They made a good point during the Biden administration. And to be fair, this was slightly during Trump's administration, so fuck you, Trump, with that. But during the Biden administration, oh my gosh, that's what I say. It was even worse during the Biden because the fake pandemic started during. It became peaked during the Biden-Harris administration, all right? During that administration, they just keep pushing woke, pushing censorship, pushing this whole law, we got to stay inside and everything, cutting down the social distancing, the all that shit. I get it, yes, okay? We need to be sanitary. I get that part. I get it. We need to be careful. Take care of stuff. Take care of your health, okay? Take precautions. I get it. But the idea you over here pushing us, telling us to move away from each other and everything, wearing masks required and everything, getting fines and everything, it makes no sense. And I love that my Chicago people have us throwing block parties during during the COVID pandemic. That was phenomenal. I am so glad. Thank you so much. Chicago, my people. They my people. Even though they're annoying with all this drinking and smoking on trains and junk, but thank you so much. But anyways, y'all did that. Y'all enforced y'all federal law of mask and social distancing and junk like that. Y'all did that, so it's our turn. Bring in martial law. Let's see what happens. Let's see how we gonna handle this. All right, bring in martial law or whatever it is that alternative that flip Chicago red or something like that. I'm talking too loud and too long. 20-minute mark. I don't want martial law, but I'm just saying, if the Biden administration want to push these restrictions, this federal law apparently restricting people from socializing and everything just because there's a quote-unquote pandemic. All right, if you had your turn, Democrats, it's our turn as Republicans. We're going to enforce our law, so bring in martial law. I don't care. I don't even care, all right? Bring them in. Bring the National Guards, all right? Bring the military here in Chicago, because this make no sense. All right? And I already know a lot of people are going to hate me what I got to say. Everybody hates me, all right? It is what it is. But I'm just saying, people need to stop thinking with their emotions. And just look at things, all right? Look. Watch. Sit down. It's too much this. Democrats. Too much of this. We need to be doing this. Write your shit down to see what it is you're looking at. Man, I'm done. I kind of ranted, but it make no sense. I'm just sick of this whole DEI hires, these DEI things and everything. Yeah, I'm at Chicago with the shit, and Trump is trying to help this city. He's trying to help the United States. And then, mind you, remember, he won the popular vote. So most Americans wanted change. As far as 2028, I don't know who I'm voting for, honestly. By default, Republican, which is, Vance. But I don't know. I don't know him enough. Maybe I might just sit out in the next election to see what's going to be like. Besides, I need to update my voter's registration anyway. We'll see what happens. But anyways, that's it. Chicago, I might actually attend one of these city hearings, public hearings or whatever. I think I should. A young black man in Chicago going over there. Even though I'm not a black man, don't tempt me to identify as one, because y'all will not like it when I identify as a black man. You guys will not like it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.